Welcome. Good evening if you are on the East Coast, and good afternoon if you're on the West Coast. My name is Erica Heiss, and I am the Executive Director of the Congressional Award Foundation. And welcome, everyone. We're really excited for you all to be joining us tonight or this afternoon for our Personal Finance and Entrepreneurship program. For those of you who joined our entrepreneurship webinar just a few weeks ago, I just want to mention that that is available on the Congressional Award webpage, congressionalaward.org/Intuit. And this is a follow-up to that discussion. So welcome back. If you were able to join us before, this will be a little bit more of a deep dive into our personal finance program. So welcome again. I want to begin by just thanking our friends at Intuit. Intuit is our partner in all things personal finance and entrepreneurship, and we are so thankful for their support of the Congressional Award Foundation. Tonight's webinar will be led by our very good friend, Jared Davidov, who is the head of product at Intuit, and he will be teaching us all these wonderful things and asking a lot of questions. But I do want to make sure, because we just talked about this, Jared, we want full engagement from our Congressional Award participants. So I'm going to direct all of our participants down here in the chat. So say hello, let us know where you're coming from. I'm in Arlington, Virginia right now. Jared is joining us from California, San Diego area, if I'm not mistaken. And so I want to see where everybody else is. Where are you joining from? Let us know. Say hi. We're just happy to have you here. We want full engagement. So please be ready with your questions. Please be ready with your thoughts. We want to make sure we're answering you, directing you to where you need to be, sharing resources, being as helpful and impactful as we can. So throughout this entire webinar, we really hope to see you and engage with you in the chat. So Jared, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you, Erica. We have a jam-packed, basically 25 minutes. I'm going to try this again, Erica. So if you guys see the bottom of your Zoom, there is a chat button. Be sure, I know you guys figured out how to raise your hands. So click the chat button, and when it says two panelists or host, change it to everyone and let us know where you're coming from. I have some questions throughout the session just to kind of help keep the engagement going. But let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. But really quickly before I do, Erica mentioned my name is Jared Davidov. I work at Intuit. I'm on the Intuit for Education team, which is part of corporate responsibility. And I lead our product team, which really is how we build products to teach personal finance to university and high school students. All right, let me go ahead and make sure I share this properly. And right. Share my screen, slideshow. All right. Erica, will you give me a thumbs up if you can see this okay?
Thumbs up, enthusiastic, yes.
Thank you. Okay, and for everyone else, I do have the chat open. So if you have questions, I can also try to answer them live for you. Just don't make no tax questions because I'm not a tax expert, but I'll try to answer the rest of your questions. So what we are going to go through today, introduction and overview of Intuit for Education, a quick demo, and then I really want to turn it over to you all for Q&As. At the end, whether it's could be, oh, there we go. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Asher. Will, I don't know if these are all delayed, but they're really coming. Oh, maybe they're delayed, but they're all coming in pretty
Jared,
hot now.
I think we had a technical issue in the beginning. We had a lot of people in the Q&A box saying, hey, the chat's not working for me.
Ah,
We fixed
okay.
it.
There we
Now we're
go.
just
All
going to be
right.
full overload. But thank you. I
Okay.
see a lot of New Jersey, California, Pennsylvania, New York City, gosh, Pittsburgh. Yes, I'm seeing everybody
I see
joining us.
all
Kansas
over.
City, Dallas, Columbia, Wyoming. So we're joined now, Jared. We feel the
Okay, great. Oh, I
okay.
see San Diego. Someone is with me in San Diego. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Intuit and the Congressional Awards Foundation. So our partnership began all the way, I want to say, back in 2018. And what we wanted to make sure that we did was build our first program pillar around financial empowerment, how we can bring financial life skills, entrepreneurship, tech ecosystems, and saving and investment for you all to help build your hours towards your goals. Today, this program has probably evolved maybe two or three times into what we are going to go through today. So, I'm curious, who knows who Intuit is? No Googling, don't use ChatGPT, put it in the chat. Who knows who Intuit is? I'm curious. Henry, a company. You are 100% correct. We are a company. What does Intuit do? Any takers? Can you name a product, a finance company, a business, tech, question mark, okay, engineering, accounting software? All right, we're getting there. Taxes, finance, help with taxes. Correct. So if I asked you all, TurboTax, that was going to be my next question. Who knows what TurboTax is? Has everyone or anyone heard of TurboTax before? Yes, yes. Okay, there we go. That's usually how people know of us. So outside of TurboTax, there's Credit Karma, QuickBooks, MailChimp, a few other products that you haven't heard of, but we are a financial technology platform used by over 100 million customers worldwide. Intuit for education. Sorry, I'm going to go through this because we have a very shortened amount of time. I don't want to get you all to the demo and really into the product itself. Intuit for education. Again, we sit within the corporate responsibility team over here at Intuit. And really what we want to do is build free financial literacy programs for Gen Z, Alpha, and anyone else who would really like to use our programs. We're really hoping to help make Gen Z and Alpha the most financially literate generations ever. And really, we do this through developing personal finance and entrepreneurial skills with over 150 hours of our curriculum and content using real world tools. So, what do we have? Our core curriculum, we have two sets. You heard a little bit about entrepreneurial finance earlier. For those of you that were on the entrepreneurial webinar not too long ago, our core curriculum that we do have, number one is personal finance. So, even if you are interested in entrepreneurial finance, personal finance is also important to you. You may or may not know that your ability, maybe it's to get loans, it's to get support and help for your small business, your side hustle, whatever it might be, maybe when you're older, your personal credit score actually comes into effect. And so actually being able to manage your own personal finances on top of your business is also just as important. And so with personal finance, we have, again, it's about 150 hours. Again, hours going back towards what you're trying to earn for your congressional awards. All around personal finance. This ranges from videos, articles, blogs, you kind of name it. I'll show you a little bit here shortly, all the way to real world simulations. So one thing we heard early on was just teach me how to do X, Y, or Z. Maybe it's taxes. Maybe you want to learn how to look at your credit score. We have real world scenarios for you to do that. And then the other piece is entrepreneurial finance. So helping students build the knowledge and skills they need. Maybe it's to build a side hustle. Maybe you are graduating soon and you want to go into auto body. Maybe you want to start a woodworking shop. Whatever it might be, we want to help you get there. All right, so first question, I'm going to let the fun begin. We're going to kind of do these a little bit faster. Need or want? Kind of curious, put in the chat. Is your cell phone a need or a want? James, need. Mostly wants. Wow. Okay. See a couple needs, couple wants. All right. A little bit of both. All right. Next question. Would you rather never listen to music again or have $1 million? Never listen to music again or $1 million. Wow. I've never had such actually overwhelming answers for $1 million before. All right. I'm gonna have to start lowering than this dollar threshold. Everyone's got a price for something. All right. Which has to go? Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, and Netflix. Which one's going? Lots of Snapchat, lots of TikTok. All right. I'm seeing no YouTube and no Netflix, so we know what the favorites are. All right. Keeping in the entrepreneurial spirit, how many small businesses are there in the US? A, 0 to 10 million, B, 10 to 20, C, 20 to 30. All right, so my question is, are either people Googling this or did Dave go through this last time? Because there's a lot of D's here. The correct answer, 30 to 40 million. Good work.
I think everyone
Actually,
just knows their stuff. I do.
all
I
right. I'm actually very quite impressed there. I'm not gonna lie. So D, there is, I want to say it is somewhere roughly around 33 million small businesses in the US. All right. So now, again, I want to be conscious of time and give you all the ability to answer questions at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and get straight into the demo for you. Um, please feel free. I do have the chat open. So if you have questions, I will do my best to try to do this back and forth as best as I can. I actually already went ahead and created an account, so you don't have to see this sign-in screen. But for those of you that are curious, it is education.intuit.com. This is where I am, education.intuit.com, and I'll pull this up again in a few screens. But this is your landing page. This is your home space. This is your learning hub. Um, this is where you can access everything again from the self-paced curriculum so you can go through at your own pace. I heard someone in the chat earlier ask, how do you earn time towards this? Each one of these self-paced lessons that are in here have a time to it that you can go through. So whether it's a course, whether it's the simulations, whether it's the calculators or even the games that you want to go ahead and play, all of this counts towards your hours. So I'm going to start on the personal finance side. I will then work my way into the entrepreneurial side and then kind of work your way down. Um, so let's start with the self-paced. And I see some of you are already trying to get in, not too many. Give me a second and we will get there towards the end. So through these self-paced lessons, you can see we have everything from the importance of financial literacy, money mindsets, all the way down. You do not have to go in order. I would start with maybe money mindsets or the importance of personal finances. It's kind of an introductory lesson. And then you can go ahead and pick through and pop through what's important to you, whether it's banking, maybe budgeting is really important for you right now. Might be credit, might be investing, all up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and let's jump into budgeting. So within budgeting, I can see that we have three specific lessons. Let's go, and this is exactly where you start to see the times. You can see 75 minutes, 82 minutes, 72 minutes, and these are just approximates. These are not actually determined based on your specific progress. Everyone goes at their own pace, and you can go at your own pace, but this is just our approximate time. So let's go ahead and click into Exploring Basics. From here, we have quite a few different types of activities that you might see. First and foremost, you will likely see many different types of videos. I'm not actually going to play any of the videos here because I know it gets a little bit wonky through webinar, so I'm not going to play the videos, but we have we have videos that kind of go all the way throughout that really walk you through the actual content um, the whole time. Let me go ahead and click into defining a budget. So you can see all of these are stackable upon each other. So you have introduction, defining a budget, short and long-term goals, creating and managing a budget, and then congratulations at the end. So whether you decide to go through budget or you decide to go through savings, it's for the most part the same. You can see, again, we have videos. You may get asked for a writing prompt here. So let's go ahead and let this load. We'll ask you a question. Okay, what is income versus expenses? We might have some readings to accompany the videos to help you go through it. And then last and not least, for this one specifically, we have a quiz that helps you to actually give real-time feedback for you. I want to click into one more just so I can give you another example. Here's a sorting activity. So we have very different, again, back to the needs versus wants, different types of activities. So I'm not even going to look through this, but let's just see what happens when I do this, just so you can kind of see what happens. You can see which one's right and which one is wrong. All right, so let me go back to explore, back to courses again one more time. This was the personal finance side. Everything from the importance of financial literacy all the way down to the end. The last thing we have is a course review if you want to go through a 90-minute sort of course reflecting and review, which this will go through everything else that you just learned in personal finance. So let's go ahead and flip into entrepreneurial finance. Very similar. We have five different types of lessons. You can see the timing for all of it here. Understanding entrepreneurial finance, all the way down to exit strategies and business valuation. One thing that I will mention here about the entrepreneurial finance, and actually all of our curriculum, we are constantly going through and getting feedback and looking for feedback. So as we're building and developing more content, you might be in here in 3, 4, 5 months, and all of a sudden you might see maybe five more lessons pop up into the entrepreneurial finance piece. It's because we're kind of always constantly looking to make this content better and bigger to help you and kind of set your goals. So let me click into one just to give you an example. Financial strategies for small businesses. You can see again, we have videos, we have reading comprehension, writing, videos, and then final check for understanding at the end. Each one of the different lessons and the units below all follow the same sort of format. So you're not going to get thrown through various different hoops. So that is both the personal finance as well as the entrepreneurial finance courses and curriculum. So now let's look into maybe a little bit something that isn't just videos, quizzes, maybe it's the matching. Let's look at the simulations. These are a little bit more interactive. So maybe you're coming in, it's January, tax time's right around the corner. I'm going to use it because it's up here at the top. Maybe I want to learn and see what it's like to actually file taxes. Um, each one of these vary in time as well, but you can go at your own pace. You can do this as many times as you want. The other thing I do want to mention, this is all fictional simulation, so you won't be answering or using any of your own W-2 information. So if you have a real job and you're like, oh, let me see if I can try that in here. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this, again, is just educational. We want to teach you and understand so you can see what it's like to file taxes the way that myself, the way that Erica, the way that 50 other million consumers who use TurboTax go through it. So let me go ahead and click Start TurboTax. And again, it's a simulated environment, so you can't come in here and type in everything you want. On the right-hand side, you can see TurboTax is a tool that helps those file taxes. Let's get started by using the W-2. So what you'll basically go ahead and do, pick one of these just for you so you can see it. And maybe I'm in the wrong environment. Let me see. Okay, so Antonio, if I can spell Tonio for his first name. Great, and you can see the feedback loop right here. Davis for his last name. Birthday 12/21/2004. Sweet. And I'm going to do this one wrong for you, just so you can see. Not correct, no check mark. Great. Continue and submit. Okay, so I'm going to actually save and exit for now, but you can then work your way through the whole simulation. So extra, outside of our simulations, we have different types of calculators for you. Whether you want to see a loan calculator, maybe you're looking to go and buy a car, you can look at an auto loan calculator. You can kind of come in here and play with the calculator. So maybe you are back to the budgeting side and you want to actually go through and play with the budgeting calculator. You can go ahead and do that here. It does take, depending on what you want to do, anywhere from 10 minutes, maybe a little bit shorter. Again, up to you. So I'm not going to go ahead and go through this the whole way. But you can see at the bottom, we do have some activities if you want to practice for budgeting. All right. Okay. And last but not least, we have our games. This is probably our most popular area where students try to come in. We have Intuit Prosperity Quest. We have some games from some of our partners, Next Gen Personal Financing here. You can play any one of these as many times as you want. Prosperity Quest, for example, basically you go into this sustainable environment and you practice and see what it's like to actually help build a real world. You can think of Prosperity Quest as similar to, if anyone's familiar with Roblox or Minecraft, it's a very simulated 3D web environment. All right, and that, I know that was quick and speedy. But what I want to actually go ahead and pop up on the screen, we have about 9 minutes left. So I'm seeing some stuff come into the chat. Thanks to Rachel and the team for answering some of these questions. So if anyone's interested and actually wants to figure out how to do this, I saw some people trying early on. You can go to education.intuit.com. When you sign up, make sure you actually go ahead and do this as an independent learner. The independent learner is where you actually get into this simulated environment. I saw somebody earlier mention that their teacher wasn't able to get the proper access that they were looking for. For Congressional Awards Foundation, Rachel, I don't know if you want to put down, I know it's the caf.intuit /Intuit website, but if you go there, there's very specific instructions as well as I know this is being recorded. You can always follow this later on, but here is the process to help you get started for the Congressional Awards Foundation. If you do this as part of maybe it's a high school personal finance class, maybe it's part of some extracurricular activities, maybe it's part of a different type of program in high school, then there might be it'll be the same content and all the same information, but one is very much teacher-led versus you being able to go in on your own. So I'm going to leave this here for a second. The only last thing I had was just a Q&A and a thank you. If anybody has any questions after this, or it's recorded, or you can't find out where I am, go to or email education@intuit.com, or you can always reach out to the Congressional Awards team. But we are here to help you and answer any questions that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this screen up. We've got about 7 minutes. I was hoping to leave you all a little bit more time for Q&A. Erica, is there anything you want to mention, or does anyone have any questions? Feel free to pop them into the chat and we can try to answer them live for you, whether it's about the tool itself, the awards, the amount of hours, you name it.
Yeah, so I think we are getting a lot of questions about how to count hours, how to validate hours, who can sign off on these. I think, Jared, what you were just able to show is that for each of these different modules, there's a different time attached to it. So all of that can count toward your personal development goal for the Congressional Award. It's probably best if your advisor, sign off on it, and you can actually share with them the module that you're doing, and that will be best. So if you're looking to submit that for your Congressional Award and you want to count those hours, it's all pretty much laid out in terms of how much time everything is set up to take. And I think, you have about 150 hours that you can do there. So there's a lot of flexibility. You can choose different topics that you're most interested in. We just asked the group, what they're most interested in learning more about. We saw a lot around taxes and credit scores, investing, so a little bit of everything. And I think you'll be able to find all those topics here in the personal finance and entrepreneurship module. So please check those out. Make sure that you're, properly tracking and accounting for your hours to submit for the Congressional Award. There's another question just around, will it count for your high school hours? That I don't know, because obviously that will depend on what the requirements are for your high school. So we'll have to look into that depending on what they're asking you to do. I think we're getting asked about some codes. Jared, is there a special code that needs to be used?
There are no codes, so you should not receive. So is there a specific course code we use to get hours? So course code for the Congressional Awards is what I'm seeing. I don't believe there's any specific codes for the Congressional Awards, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct. And everything, again, is on Congressional Awards /Intuit. So if you're looking for this information on our website, everything will be put there, including this webinar, for everyone to go back and review, because there's been some questions about that as well.
Awesome. And again, because I'm seeing a lot of questions about time, so which I'm not surprised. I was kind of anticipating this. So as you come into the personal finance or the entrepreneurial, and you click on any one of the lessons, you can see the approximate times that are associated with it.
Yeah.
Erica, how would you like the team? I don't know how they traditionally submit hours to get validated. Is it just pictures that work? Could it be a PDF?
Yeah, they can do all that. That's really to show their advisor or their validator to sign off on their record book, but they're submitting everything to us through Submittable when they are submitting for the Congressional Award. So I would simply ask your advisor, what they may want to see to prove that you've completed one of the different lessons within the module.
I saw one question about when you sign up. Yes, you actually want to make sure you sign up as an independent learner or I want to learn personal finance.
Excellent. Well,
Lots of questions about
I'm
signing up.
yeah, I'm happy that so many people are signing up.
Mm-hmm. Awesome to see. Quick show of hands. I guess you can't really show your hands. I guess you could raise your hand. Has anybody actually just started trying to go through this? Oh, well, people are raising their hands.
A lot of people are. I'm happy to see that.
All right, we got 3 more minutes. Any other questions?
Is there a user fee? There is
There
not.
is no user fee, Sonny. It is free for you.
Excellent. So it feels like people are very excited to learn more about these different topics that they're looking to apply uh, in their lives. I think there's some questions about, are there modules that are useful for starting a business?
Great question. So, for starting a business, I would for sure check out self-paced entrepreneurial finance. Now, depending on what type of business you are looking for, this ranges and varies, right? If you are looking to uh, start baseball trading, for example, versus what's another one? Selling golf clubs. I don't know. I just made that one up. The types of business might be very different, but you can go through here. It starts with understanding entrepreneurial finance first and foremost. I would say definitely start there because what ends up happening and what we see actually a lot personally at Intuit is when people start a business, they tend to, and here's exactly where you see blending finances with your business, how not to do that between your business and your personal finances, because then you need to create this clear difference between what you're trying to start as a business versus yourself. So great question. I actually didn't catch the name who asked that. But if you are looking to start a business and you go into courses, I would definitely work your way down as you go through the entrepreneurial finance courses. How much time goes into creating each lesson? How many people work on them? Gabriella, it's a great question. We have not just a team here at Intuit that does this, but we actually look to teachers all the time to help us with these. We look to students all the time to help give us feedback. It's been quite a bit of time since I've been in the high school classroom, and so I can't even pretend to understand what it's like to help write the most perfect curriculum. But what we do is there's national standards for teaching personal finance. We have our curriculum team here, and on top of our team, we actually look towards experts in the industry to help us write curriculum. And then the last thing we want is feedback from you and from teachers. If something doesn't work, we want to know, and then we want to figure out how to change it and make it better. So that's a great question.
That is a great question. Is there a way that you collect feedback? Is that via email?
So you can actually, if you want to email us, you are more than welcome down here at education@intuit.com. But as you actually use a product and you go throughout, it will prompt you and ask for feedback. It will say, what did you like? We'll ask you for a rating. Is there things that you would want to change? So on and so forth.
Excellent. And someone just asked if they could see that slide on how to sign up just one more time.
You bet.
And someone did ask about internships at Intuit.
Internships. So we do have, I don't know the page off the top of my head, I'm sorry, but if you Google Intuit Careers, it's probably one of the top links. And on there is our job board. And I would actually say right about now, maybe within the next probably 4 weeks, give or take, is when we start to populate internships. I do believe the internships, though, are specifically for university students, junior and senior year. I don't think we have any high school internships.
Okay, so we're looking at college.
All right. I know we're about 1 minute over. I will leave this screen up here for everyone. Erica, thank you again for A, your partnership, but B, the webinar today. If anyone has any questions at any time, please feel free. It's education@intuit.com, and we will be here to help you.
Jared, thank you so much for walking us through the module. I know there's a lot of content there, and I encourage all of our participants to take the time to go through it, see what they're most interested in, or maybe, go through all of it. We love everyone's feedback. I think that's continual. Of course, all of these hours can count toward your Congressional Award personal development goal. I know that's a big question. And when we send the follow-up information, we'll just walk through the steps to remind everyone of how that counts and be sure that folks know how it should be listed. This will all be found again, congressionalaward.org/Intuit. We're very grateful for all of what Intuit does for the Congressional Award Foundation and for our participants. We know a lot of time and energy went into creating these modules and all of these lessons, so we hope to take full advantage of that moving forward. We look forward to continue engagement from our Congressional Award participants, and the chat has some great information from the Congressional Award team of where to go next. So Jared, thank you so very much from the East Coast, thanking you on the West Coast for your time this evening. It was really informative, and we're very excited about this.
So thank you, Erica.
All right. Thank you, Congressional Award community. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.